The National Volunteer Week theme for 2021, The Value of One, the Power of Many, reflects the awe-inspiring acts of kindness by millions of individuals and the magic that will happen when we work together towards a common goal.
This Volunteer Week showcase is an opportunity to celebrate the vibrancy and impact of volunteerism in our community. It is an opportunity for everyone to take time to recognize volunteers and to celebrate the impact of volunteerism in all of our communities.
It takes the whole community to create a warm, welcoming, inclusive place, and volunteers play a huge role in that. The richness of our communities are attributed to the volunteer efforts, and clearly volunteering matters.
Volunteers hold a special place in my heart, and volunteering as well. When we moved to this community, my kids came to Mannville School, and we didn't know anybody within the community. So it was a great opportunity for me to get to know people, and also it gave me a little bit of a bigger sense of purpose in my life. And especially I know that in Mannville School, there are so many great activities and programs that rely on volunteers. And so I know that when I joined Mannville School Council, I found out just how many of the things that I loved about the school were responsible due to volunteers. So it's very important, and I know for me it's just been so great for me just to meet other people and get to know the people who are working in the school as well. So when we moved to this community, my kids were young and I was a stay-at-home mom, and so I felt like I needed something a little bit more in my life, a little bit more purpose in the greater sense of things. So I came into Mannville and I went into the FCSS office and I decided that I was going to volunteer for the Meals on Wheels, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made. It was just so great. I got to know so many people within the community, and just being able to have that little bit more sense of purpose in my life was really great.
When I first came to the Mannville community, I really didn't know a lot of people, and so when the kids started going to school, and I started with the school council and MIFA, or the Mannville Educational Fund Association. It gave an opportunity to get to know some of the other parents and the teachers, as well as the students too. So that was kind of neat. Growing up, I had a lot of great role models in our community that did a lot of volunteering themselves, and so when my children were younger, and I started with the school council, it was just a great way to get to meet the people in our community, the teachers, the students, and learn some new skills on the way too.
Volunteering for me has created a valued sense of responsibility for myself and participating in the community. It's led to lots of wonderful experiences going out with the seniors and the individuals in the community. Everything from baking homemade bread on an open wood fire wrapped in cabbage. It's the most wonderful experience. Having a greater appreciation just for the landscape and the land, the people that farm it and ranch it, appreciation for Mother Nature, and more wonderful, great experiences going downtown and playing bingo on a Tuesday afternoon with a group of individuals, to the bake sales at the church and having the luncheons, going to the library tea and the social and participating in that. They have all kinds of cakes and cupcakes and cookies and coffee. Yeah, it's just been wonderful. On a personal level, I feel so extremely grateful and blessed, and it's just been a pure joy participating. I'll give a shout out to my friend John. Hey Johnny, we get through this pandemic, we're going to go for lunch, we'll get some liver and onions.
People can feel very lonely, and sometimes all we need is something to look forward to, and we all need a purpose. So if you have a purpose, you feel valued no matter what the task is. Phoning somebody, for instance, and just to see how they are doing. That makes them feel really like they do belong. People can live in a community for a long time and have no idea their skills or their abilities. just ask them if they would like to come out and do something in the community. They will probably be overjoyed, or if they do not feel comfortable, they just will. Communities only grow with volunteers. If you want a community to die, just stay home. The only way our little communities have grown with buildings, sports events, fairs, is by volunteers. I get a great joy out of working with youth, and when they apply for a job or apply to go to school and they ask for a reference, I feel honored that they had asked and I had an impact on their life. You have to volunteer for unselfish reasons. Not what you can get out of it, but what it does for others. You can make just one feel better. You have done a great job. Probably the people you connect with get more joy out of it than you will. Communities are built on and grow with volunteers. When you volunteer, you can look back and say, I know how that was built, or how that was started, or how it blossomed.
Volunteers are very important to every organization. Everyone brings skills to the table, whether they be organizers, leaders, bookkeepers. Everyone has the skills, and we need everyone's skills in order to pull off a function in the organizations. It takes volunteers to sustain organizations, and don't wait to volunteer. Don't wait for your kids to grow up. Get involved now. Teach your kids to be the leaders in the community.
Organizations depend on the giving nature of volunteers. They really rely on us to help them put board members out there. They raise the profile on organizations and open doors to success. They create partnerships and community members working together for the success of their organization. We raise awareness about the organizations and its cause. Everything that the organization does really depends on the volunteers. The organization members work together for the good of today, tomorrow, and the future.
Probably when I was asked to do this, I thought, well, that's a pretty simple thing. Let's go over to the rec center, because in 1973, a group of volunteers said, let's build something for this town. And they did. They got it to pass, they got it built, and probably since then it's been nothing but volunteers in here that have made this place the way it is. I myself have volunteered over the years, not as much as late. It's nice to see the next generations taking over and constantly changing this building and making it a building this town can be very proud of. You look around in here, you see all kinds of banners on the walls from our hockey system, which is volunteers galore, putting thousands of hours in, coaching, running the booth, whatever, to generate money to keep upgrading and building it to what it is. It's seen some changes over the years, always positive. Great groups of people working together, volunteering. Then if you moved over into the hall, you'd see that place is another excellent facility that is second to none for a little town. Again, seen changes, volunteers come forth, put together hours, volunteered time to get it done. And that all goes back even to when it started. We had groups of ladies that would volunteer in the kitchen. We had a catering group that generated a lot of money to help to build a kitchen over there that is phenomenal. Our curling rink, a little town, we have got a great little curling rink. Why? Because people volunteered their time. Volunteered their time just for getting projects done, fundraising, what have you. And yeah, there's leaner years when the volunteer time is just to keep the operation of it going. And then when there's years when government has some grant money available, money was put away to take advantage of it and get what we have here. This place it's the heart and soul of this town. And the only way it can keep going is if generation after generation will keep volunteering to make it go. It's not just here, there's the ball tournaments, or the ball diamonds in this town. It's the same thing over there. There's a gazebo downtown. People volunteered, fundraised. That's what makes things happen in small towns. The greatest thing about a small town is people get out and do it. Another great thing about volunteering is the people you meet. You get out there and somebody new in town and you want to meet people? Volunteer. You're going to meet great people. When I look up here and I see back in the 70s, that's when I played. That's when I was a kid. And I was able to use the facility. And I thought, somebody did it for me. It's my turn to do it for somebody else. And hopefully that keeps going forward. In closing, I guess I got to tell a little story about the past and volunteering for things. This was back in the 80s. We used to run a lot of ball tournaments in town. And a couple months ago, my wife decided she was going to buy this piece of antique furniture. So we went to this other town to pick it up. There was an elderly gentleman, and he asked me where I'm from. I said, I'm from Mannville. He says, you're the luckiest guy. I said, what do you mean? He says, when I was young, I used to look forward to that one weekend to go to that Mannville ball tournament because it was the most fun I ever had, and I'll remember that town till the day I die.
Volunteerism from the Minburn Egg Society can be seen in the community in several ways. One of these ways is that we make sure that our facilities are functioning by making sure that we have maintenance and improvements scheduled as needed. Because of this, we are able to, as well as others, to keep hosting events that are beneficial to our community. One of these events is our food bank supper, where we take in food and cash donations. With this event, we support a local charity while also letting people gather together. We are very fortunate to have a well-rounded group of members as part of the Minburn Egg Society. Some of our members have construction experience, which helps make sure that our facilities are maintained and improved properly. We also have members with financial insight, and they help make sure that our money is being managed and used wisely. We also have a talented photographer among us, and that helps us and others in the community look back on our events in the years to come. Above all, our members are always willing to do the physical labor that is required of our society, be it setting up tables and chairs at our suppers, moving panels around at our heifer show, or just cleaning our facilities after events. Through these things, you can see volunteerism in our community from the Minburn Egg Society.
Hi, I'm Kent Staden, manager of the Mannville Riverview Golf Course and RV Resort. Topic today is volunteerism. Our facility here has a great number of volunteers that assist us throughout the season, and it's anywhere from helping with functions that we have to manning food holes and beverage holes, to our campground society that has a work bee every year to make sure our campground is in beautiful shape and ready for people to come and enjoy it. As well, we have volunteers that do the flowers that enhances our facility, and without it, it would be very difficult to be profitable at the end of the year without this volunteerism. So they're an integral part of our facility and helps our operations all year long. And we quite often don't have an opportunity to thank our volunteers. Whenever I ask someone, there's never been no, I can't help you. It's when do you need the help and how soon. To all our volunteers, it's greatly appreciated the work and effort you put in throughout the year. Without you, our facility isn't what it is. Thank you very much.
Okay, I just like to off by saying, just a big thank you to all the volunteers. It's a huge part of our community. We're volunteer based right through every pretty much community board, and a lot of facilities have been built through volunteers alone. And I just want to say thank you. Volunteers, they maintain the structure for these nonprofit groups, and they just make it viable all around just to keep these small things going. I mean, without volunteers, we wouldn't have no structure at all. I mean, without this, we wouldn't have the capacity to offer the activities and stuff that we can provide for the community and stuff. So huge thank you. I mean, without the volunteers, we wouldn't have any programs at all. I'm a huge volunteer. I try and volunteer as much as I can. It just tickles me pink just to be a part of these programs. So you should too.
It's been a very challenging time with this COVID in the last year, but we'd like to say a big thank you to everyone that has taken time out of their schedules to volunteer. You make a bigger difference in your community than you can imagine.
We are so thankful for our many volunteers as we help shape the community and bring a new life to all projects that they are a part of. By freely giving time and labor for community service, volunteers leave a legacy behind for the upcoming generations. This sense of fellowship is the backbone of communities. Once again, thank you so much to all the wonderful volunteers out there. The difference a volunteer makes cannot be measured, but can be felt by the whole community.
Through this showcase of volunteerism, we'd like to thank those who have volunteered. We can thank the Volunteer Alberta, the Government of Alberta, and Mannville MMI FCSS, and of course ThreeSixty Alberta for presenting you with this video to help you celebrate volunteerism in Alberta and in Innisfree.
Hi, I'm Rex Smith, Mayor of the Village of Mannville, celebrating volunteerism. I just want to thank all of our local volunteers for everything that they do. Even though they are not in the spotlight, they are the backbone of so many events and activities that we all enjoy and makes our community so special. The hard work and the dedication of our volunteers is remarkable, and we are forever grateful for their time that they have given us. Volunteer makes an unforgettable difference.
The value of one, the power of many, is a nod to our past, a reflection of our present, and a wink to our future. Thanks to you, volunteers and community organizations, for your contributions to making our area a better place. Thanks also to the Government of Alberta, Culture and Tourism, Volunteer Alberta, and the County of Mannville, number 27, for their support to acknowledge and celebrate all the volunteer efforts of our area. Thanks also to ThreeSixty Alberta for their work in creating this showcase of volunteerism.
I am a volunteer.
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 I am proud to be a volunteer.
I am 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 a volunteer. I was a volunteer, and I want to be a volunteer as long as I can be.